Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
It's the most important position in all of team sports, and it's looking like next year we're going to see some change for the G-Men.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
What does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
Streaming live on YouTube. Here's Theo Dorsey.
Good people. It's a Wednesday. It's your boy Theo Dorsey. We got Damian on the ones and twos. C-Cat still out in Vegas at Big 12 Media Days. I hear he's got Prime. I hear Coach Prime is going to be sitting down with C-Cat, so looking forward to seeing what that interview is like. Maybe he can ask him, how in the heck did he get his son Shedeur Sanders to have the highest rating for any quarterback in the NCAA Football 25 game that's coming out? I want to know. Also, who might be inquiring about that and has an inquiring mind about many of things with sports, our dear friend here at ESPN West Palm for many a year, making his debut on Theoretically Speaking. I hope you're tapped in on YouTube, by the way, at Theo Speaking, because you're going to want to see this guy. His locks are flowing today. I told him he's looking like he and punch your mic on for me, please, there, Dr. Goldhaber. Dr. Neil Goldhaber, you're looking like a young, slim man today, and you got the full locks going. How are we feeling coming off of episode 2 of your New York Giants Hard Knocks offseason stuff?
We're doing good. We're doing good, Theo. It's good to see you guys. And, I got the long hair flowing. It's a little warm for that, so I may be shaving that off any day now.
No, it looks good. It's a good look.
But as far as my New York Giants go, yeah, very interesting. An interesting watch. I like Hard Knocks anyway, but getting the inside scoop, so to say, on my team, very, very interesting.
GoldhaberSinus.com to get locked in with Dr. Neil Goldhaber. We'll be talking about that throughout the show, but we're also going to have the New York Giants as our centric topic today, not just because you're in today, but as I've been watching Hard Knocks, the offseason edition with the Giants. It's their first time HBO doing this thing during the offseason like that, us getting a behind-the-curtains look at what the front office is like. Joe Schoen, the general manager, being put out there front and center for everybody to watch his decision-making. There's been a lot of discourse about the Saquon Barkley move. I loved watching him negotiate out that deal with general manager of the Carolina Panthers, Dan Morgan, to go and get Brian Burns to be a demon off of that edge. And then last night we saw them, trying to make a move, trying to trade up in the draft to maybe get a quarterback. And that brings me to why we're here in the first place. Every single time ahead of the football season, especially around this summertime, we start to think, okay, who has the most quote-unquote pressure to perform this year? Who has the most to prove this year? But I thought we'd elevate that a bit today because it's a Wednesday, it's a hump day. I'm feeling a little antsy. I want to go with who has their NFL career on the line the most this year, because it's not just about pressure to perform. It's also about having another franchise invest in you. And when I look at the New York Giants, I love what they've done this offseason. I like what they're building out there as a team that's going to want to contend in the NFC East. But there's still a massive question mark at the quarterback position. And to me, Daniel Jones is the one singular guy who has his career on the line the most in the National Football League in this upcoming year. And it starts with the fact that not only has he been a health concern over the past couple of years, more specifically, he has been turnover prone. And for me, Theo Dorsey, from my sports sensibilities and what I want out of a quarterback, the number one thing you can't do is be a guy that turns the ball over more than you can put it in the end zone. This is year 6 that we're coming up on for your New York Giants with Daniel Jones at the helm, sporting that number 8 and playing quarterback. And coming into year 6 here, 5 years of experience in 60 games with the Giants, Daniel Jones has not just turned the ball over 64 times. He's only had 62 total touchdowns to his name. He's given the ball away to the defense more times than he is scoring points for the offense. It's not winning football. It's not something that you can build a franchise going on forward. And I do think that now with the verbiage we've heard Joe Schoen use, specifically in the Hard Knocks film that we've been watching from HBO, and also the moves that the Giants have made around their roster this year, Daniel Jones should be the guy that's most looking over his shoulder, that most has the antsiness about what his career can be going forward, because if he can't make it work out this year with Brian Daboll, with an incoming Malik Neighbors, who is looking like the most explosive receiver in the draft, and with them bringing in an edge rusher like Brian Burns, who, if you can get the Giants a lead now, imagine trying to go up against that imposing defensive line that you guys have built out there in New York. I think this is not just a prove-it year for Daniel Jones, but no matter what he does, it might be the end of the road. So I ask you all, let's open it up to everybody, and then I'll get to you, Dr. Neil Goldhaber. Who in the NFL has the most to prove this year? Who has their NFL career most on the line? And you can hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotline, 888-760-3776, 888-760-3776. That's the number to tap into the show, theoretically speaking. The Baptist Health Hotline. Are you experiencing foot and ankle pain and need to see an expert in the field? Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has a team of foot and ankle orthopedic surgeons and specialists who are regarded as leaders in their specialty. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to learn more today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho. Dr. Goldhaber, Dr. G, you're a Giants fan. You just had to listen to me for 4 minutes rant on how your quarterback.
That was hard.
Yeah, how your quarterback has no chance to have a future in the NFL, especially with your G-men. What is your first thoughts of that? You believe in the guy.
Let's slow your roll a little bit. All right, first off, okay, because
talk to me.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to you. All right, now I don't disagree with a lot of what you said. However, let's tweak it. Right, end of his career, really? You don't think Daniel Jones, even if he doesn't make it after this year, he's going to be a backup somewhere. So let's not say he's out of the league if he doesn't do well.
But what is that for a guy that was for once pitched as the face of a franchise?
I agree. No, I agree with that. But some things you have to weigh in on, and it's just sort of playing devil's advocate.
Okay,
right?
I got you. You're saying he can be a backup.
Oh, for sure. But I'm going to say a couple of things, and I tend to be more on your side with this. But name me a quarterback who could have played with that offensive line last year. Yeah, he turned the ball over a lot, but the guy was running for his life. So let's again, playing both sides of it for sure. I think that this year is a big year, obviously, for him. And you and I were talking about this before we came on the air, but I think that if he has a run and they have a winning record and they somehow get to the playoffs and he's in part responsible for it, he's going to be there. He's going to be there. Now, we both also know, though, if he does not have the year that us Giant fans are hoping for. I don't include you in that, Theo, but us Giant fans.
I'm starting to like the Giants. Based off of this HBO Hard Knocks, I'm getting a little bit of an affinity for what they're building over there.
You get a little tingle for them. That's okay. But I think that if he doesn't do well, this is the last year, because after this year, based on the way they did his contract, it'll be a lot easier for the Giants to move on. So, this is a big year. He's got to bounce back from injuries. They did put a lot of money into their offensive line as well to try to protect him. But I think it's a put up or shut up year for Daniel Jones for sure.
You talk about the way they did his contract. So there's only another year of guaranteed money left after this season. He's scheduled to earn $30 million in 2025. Only $23 million of that is guaranteed against injury. So they can, after this season, move on from Daniel Jones.
That's right.
And also, everything we've seen Joe Schoen and that front office do so far around this team is almost operating with that in mind. It feels like they're prepared to move on from him. So as a Giants fan, then, just be honest. Truth serum.
Sure.
It's not just about making the playoffs and winning a game. What does he have to look like for you, in your eyes, to do so? Because even in that 1 year that earned him the 4-year, $160 million contract, it was 15 touchdowns. It was getting by with all of these wildcat formations and really leaning heavily on Saquon Barkley to make that offense churn. And with a genius brain that we say in Brian Daboll to make that offense kind of take the top off and threaten defenses more. What would you have to see from Daniel Jones? Because you look around the league, these other quarterbacks are just levels better.
No doubt about it. But if you look back to that year, that was year one of the Shane Daboll experiment. Nobody expected the Giants to compete the way they did. That was supposed to really be the beginning of the rebuild. Lo and behold, Daboll did his magic. I don't know if you remember in week 1 that year against Houston, he went for it for the lead.
Yeah,
at the end of the game, it showed a little moxie, right? So that year kind of came out of nowhere. But I would say that he not only has to play well and live up to, some of the expectations that he had early on, but he's got to stay healthy. When you start having that reputation as being the guy that gets hurt every year, and he's had some serious injuries, that's going to be a big part of it too. Even if he plays well and gets hurt again, I think the Giants are going to be ready to use that money and sort of reset the clock as far as that's concerned and build the rest of the team. I think they've done a pretty good job of rebuilding the rest of the team. So therein lies the dilemma, right?
Giants and also New York Knicks fan Dr. Neil Goldhaber joining us here.
We could do that for 2 hours. I need Evan for that.
Well, you're in luck because Evan Cohen going to be joining us right around the corner here. I do want to say before we move on, other coaches and players that I do feel have their NFL careers on the line here. And it's easier to say with coaches than players because you're right. I'm being a little exaggerative when I say that Daniel Jones' career is on the line. I'm sure somebody will sign him for a low-level contract to be a backup. But I look around the league for the New York Jets, Robert Saleh, head coach. Now that they've turned this franchise over to Aaron Rodgers and they have the excellent defense and they've got Nathaniel Hackett calling plays for them, it still feels like if the Jets don't get into the playoffs and look threatening, Robert Saleh is more on the line, and I don't see him getting another head coaching job in the NFL after this.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, they're built to win. They were built to win last year, and then I was going to call him Favre, but Rodgers, right? How many plays? I mean, that was the end of the season.
4 plays in.
Snap of your finger. So I think it is a big year, and their offense, they got Garrett Wilson too. I like him a lot. So yeah, I would agree with you. I would agree with you there. But if you're going back to players, too, I think it's a big year. Let's keep it local for Tua. Also, I think it's a very big year.
Now, here's the one defense I'll give for Tua. He just led the league in passing last year. He's going to be playing on a 5th-year option for $20+ million. Plus, the Dolphins' offense has been way better with him than without him.
But here's the question. So, 5th-year option. Well, why didn't they sign him long-term? Because they wanted 1 more year of let's see.
It seems
so. Somebody in there is not really drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, well, I think also it's coming down to the guaranteed money. I think it didn't help that Jared Goff and Trevor Lawrence got these huge deals, and that lifted up what Tua said. The market is the market, what they're going to have to pay for Tua Tagovailoa. Like, the Dolphins believe in him. I don't think they believe in him to the tune of $55 million a year and $200 million guaranteed. That's going to get interesting.
We'll see what happens for sure.
On the other side, we got to bring Evan Cohen in here for who you hear on Unsportsmanlike from 6 to 10 a.m. every single morning on ESPN 106.3 because generally this dude, I feel like, has the mind churning the right way. He's great at making these lists. He had his quarterback rules. I thought they were sensible. Today, I think he might have made the worst list I've ever seen him come out with in his career. And he has a lengthy career dating back here to ESPN West Palm. Absolutely abysmal when we're talking about pass catchers in the NFL. So we're going to have to address that with him head on. And plus, I do want to get his take on who in the NFL has their career most on the line in 2024. I'm still sticking with Daniel Jones. I know that's your quarterback. You want to have faith. But again, in the league, you got to have a guy at the signal caller position. I mean, think in the NFC East, Dr. G. I mean, he's the worst quarterback there right now, even with Jaden Daniels pulling up as a rookie.
Well, let's see Jaden play a down or two.
All right. So we'll get to that. But we're in the dog days of summer, which is why we are talking NFL pressure and careers on the line. Speaking of the dog days of summer, I mean, at Duffy Sports Grill, you pull up there right now. They're in the midst of the dog days of summer, and it's a good thing because we're not talking about the dog days in a bad way. We're talking about hot dogs. Natural, uncured Vienna beef hot dogs all the way through the end of July 31st. I mean, here goes a couple of the options here. The All-American topped with chopped onions, sauerkraut, relish, mustard, and ketchup. How about the Texan? That's home for me. You get a hot dog topped with the Duffy's signature beef chili, served on an artisan bun, and French fries and a pickle on the side. All of them are just about $12. Duffy'sMVP.com. We got Duffy Sports Grill celebrating its 39th anniversary with the return of the Death Dog as well. That's a char-grilled, all-natural, uncured Vienna beef hot dog loaded with the most fiery toppings. We're talking sliced jalapenos, horseradish mayo, Swiss and cheddar cheese, and that special Duffy's Death Sauce. Enjoy the dog days of summer now through July 31st at Duffy's Sports Grill. Our game is always on Duffy'sMVP.com. On the other side, Evan Cohen explains the worst list I've seen him come up with that great radio brain. That's Dr. Neil Goldhaber. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.